Welcome to the shenanigans, everybody. Everydaykt number 160. So today we're talking about fear, because fear is the only thing that stands between you today and who you want to be. Fear, and it's a natural part of everybody, but it can be overcome. Fear of opinions, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of failure. Fear of death, that you can't really overcome that one. That happens. I mean, there's a couple of folks like Evil Knievel and what's that dude, Chris Angel. The rest of the people, I don't want to die. But fear, it is a natural thing, but you can overcome it. Fear is very easy to overcome, but it's hard to do, because in order to overcome fear, you have to do the thing you're afraid of. I was reading a thing online. There's a class someplace. You have arachnophobia. You're afraid of spiders. They let you play with spiders for 4 hours, so you're not afraid of them anymore. You're afraid of the dark. You get stuck in a dark room for all night. You know, I don't like the dark. That's a natural. I think that's actually a biological fear, because a lot of stuff hunts at night, and before civilization, other things would eat people on a regular basis, and at night. So night bad. So, salmon. It's actually red. It in my washing machine have had several arguments, and the washer always wins. But the thing is, the shirt's not afraid to jump in there. The shirt's not afraid to tangle with it, even though it loses every time. It still goes back. Granted, I'm the one who puts it in there, but it's a halfway decent metaphor. But it's fear. Fear of alienation, fear of being judged as different, fear of not being accepted as one of the group. All of those things, fear of getting laughed at, all of those things are why so many people are not who they are. They're who people want them to be. They are living someone else's idea of what their life should be. They're wearing the khakis and the polo shirt with the loafers, and they have the desk job at 9 to 5 every day that they cannot stand, because they'd rather be playing guitar, or they'd rather be working on machinery, something. Fear of the dentist. See, Chris overcame fear of the dentist. He got his head drilled, or something. He had something done. And he's alive. Yeehaw for Chris. So that's awesome. Hey, Frank. So, fear. Fear of the internet. Fear of talking to cameras. Fear of talking to people. There's a growing fear of using the telephone. Now, when I was a kid, you want to get a hold of somebody, you call them. They don't answer the phone, you wait 20 minutes, call them again. If your friends had money, they had an answering machine. If not, they had grandma was answering the phone and saying, hello, no, call back. All the time. And that's it. That was the only thing. That was all that was. Fear of heights, all of those things. Right, you're right, Dave. And Dave Cruz, I want to say thanks for the Instagram words of thanks. That was pretty awesome. I appreciate that. Really good. Really good stuff. Goes back to something I said a couple of months ago. If you see something you like, say thank you. So, fear of all of these things, it can be overcome, but it takes time, it takes energy, and it takes, above all, courage. It takes you saying, I'm going to choose to not be afraid. There are some people, they see this thing. They're like, oh, power tool, scary. No, not really. Or, well, actually, this one is kind of scary, because if it skips, that hurts. People are afraid of power tools. People are afraid. This thing instills fear in children all across the land. And if you don't know what this is, you should. And if you do, then you know what I'm talking about. I made my son mow the lawn with that. That's fear. Having to mow half an acre with that thing, that's fear. But you can overcome that fear by conquering whatever it is that you're afraid of. You're afraid of lifting weights. You know, you're afraid that I'm going to grab this thing and say, oh crap, I'm going to hurt myself. Fine. Don't grab the huge monster thing. Start small. Grab one of these and fill it with sand. You can conquer your fears. It's very, the thought process is very simple. The action is very hard, as all of you know. The simple act of doing what it is you're afraid of takes immense internal fortitude, self-confidence, and courage. And you have this within you. Especially if you've worn a kilt in public, you already have this. So if you're afraid of something else, well, you've already strapped on a kilt and worn it out. You've dealt with all the crap that you're going to deal with for that. Why aren't you doing the same thing for all of these other things you're afraid of? You're afraid to talk to some girl, guy, whomever? Why? Because you're afraid of them saying no? Well, if you don't ask, they're not. It's the exact same thing. You haven't gone anywhere, except you don't know what they're going to say. But in your head, it's already no. So you're screwing yourself without even giving you the chance to fail. And see, that's the beauty of the failure. It tells you that you're doing it. You know, you're still trying to conquer that fear. You just haven't done it right. So keep trying, keep working, using that internal fortitude, that internal courage, that strength that's inside you, and you can conquer these fears. Fear of heights, go climb something. It takes time, trust me. It takes time to overcome stuff like that, but go do it. Start small. Go 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet. Work your way up. Go to a rock gym, a climbing gym. They'll strap you in. You're not going to fall. Try. Keep going. Because if you don't keep going, then what do you have to gain? Nothing. You haven't done anything. You still have the fears. You still have the lack of confidence, the lack of courage, the lack of strength. You still have all those things, and you haven't even done anything yet. And yet you're still complaining. So that it goes back to that whole, if you're not doing it, stop, quit your bitching. So that fear of failure, that fear of loss, that fear of rejection or negative results, fear of not being perfect, that whole thing about perfection is ridiculous. Perfection is not possible. It's simply not possible. Don't even try it. It's not worth your time. You know, I looked at my book when I was writing it. I'm like, oh, this sucks. I got to do it better, do it better, do it better, do it better. And it took 3 years to get the second volume out because of that. And one day I'm like, screw it. Submit. And it was done. That's it. So you have to get over the fear of what other... And ultimately, that fear, although fear of heights is a natural, I'm going to die kind of thing. That's normal. Fear of snakes, I gotcha. Fear of spiders, I'm with you. You know, fear of those huge, crazy insects. Anything that's going to bite me and kill me, no thanks. But any kind of fear that is based on someone else's interpretation of your life is completely pointless. Because it does not matter, and let me get this straight, or pay attention, it does not matter what they think. Because what they think is in their head. It does not apply to you. It does not cause you to fail. It does not cause you to not succeed. It does not cause you to have, it does not prevent you from doing the things that you want to do. All their opinion is a thought in their brain. Just like the thought in your brain. And what's that going to do? They're not Professor X. It's not going to do anything to you. Don't worry about it. Do not be afraid of that person's perception of your life, of you as a human being. Because if you're afraid, you're ultimately giving them control, actively giving them control of your life. You're telling them, through your actions, that they can tell you to do whatever you want, whatever they want. I'm sorry. They can tell you to do whatever they want, and you will do it because you are afraid of their opinion changing. Knock that shit off. Plain and simple. Every person has an opinion. Every person has a picture of what life should look like. Most people don't fit into that picture in their heads. They want them to, but it doesn't. And most people, if they can find people that are similar to what that viewpoint is, they'll hang out with them. Some people are easily molded, I guess if you will, to fit that because they're afraid of other people's opinions and what that might do to them if they heard that, oh no, Joey thought that I looked silly in a kilt. My life is over. I'm going to go crawl in a hole. I'll say it again. Knock that shit off. Do not be afraid of an opinion. Do not be afraid of an opinion. All it is a thought, someone else's head, designed to attempt to control you and make you right there, live someone else's dream of a perfect life. Live your own life. Do your own thing. If you want to put on a kilt and march down the road, why aren't you? Because someone says you look funny? Who cares? How many people make bazillions of dollars looking funny? A ton of people do. Stop worrying about other people's opinions. If you value their opinion, then have a legitimate conversation with that individual. That's one thing. But kowtowing to someone because you're afraid of their opinion is completely irrelevant. Respecting someone is an awesome thing. If you respect them, tell them, have intelligent conversation with them, and learn from their opinions. Because I'm guessing that they're probably kind of in sync with yours. But if they're just trying to tell you how you're supposed to live your life because they think it's supposed to be a certain way, do not. I could quote 12, 15 different Star Wars quotes right now, but I'm not going to because I'm sure most of you know them. Do not let them do that. All it is control. And in my experience, the people who use that kind of control generally have some kind of fantasy Ozzie and Harriet life that they're trying to live and failing horribly, so they're trying to make someone else miserable with them. You don't want to be miserable with them. So, to that end, somebody throw up a Kiltology because somebody throw up a Kiltology. You guys just stop being afraid. It's very simple. It's simple in thought. In practice, it's hard as hell. I'm not making any jokes about it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is hard, but you can do it. I have faith in you. I know you have faith in yourself to do that, and you have the ability to do so. You just need to get that foot moving and say, boom, here's the line. I just crossed it. I'm going to be my own person. I'm not going to be that cookie cutter that someone else says, oh, you need to look like the guy from the magazine, or you need to look like the girl from the TV show, or you need to act like this person I read about from 1823. No. You are who you are. The mold was busted the minute you showed up. We all know it. So live it. Do it. And be your own person. So, Kiltology Volume 2, as per Chris and Frank. So, this is a stretch to get it to tie together, but seriously, how much of what happens on this show is not a stretch? So we've been talking a lot of heady stuff today. You know, about fear, about opinions, about thought, about perception, and now we're going to talk about philosophy. Kiltology number 434, philosophy. The commonly accepted evolution of philosophical thought is pretty well documented. The biggest questions are generally accepted to be, why? Who am I? Why am I here? And, of course, where is my towel? What is not documented is the very first question in the history of histories, which is, what's up his kilt? Right there. That is the beginning of history, the very first question. Not why, but what's up his kilt? So my friends, please, do me a solid. Try. Find that courage within you. Find that strength. Find that faith in yourself. And stop being afraid. Stop being afraid of an opinion, of a difference, of a change. Something that sets you apart from everyone else. That you in your heart know is true for you. But you are unsure where that fits in your circle of friends, family, and general sphere of influence. Try. Give it a shot. You're either going to do it or you're not. But make sure you go follow it through to the end. And I'll see you tomorrow. Remember, be strong. Put a kilt on.